we're going to continue our tutorial of making an old school asteroids game, and we're going to start focusing on the asteroids as we shoot them, having them break into smaller and smaller pieces until they're gone. So currently we have all the asteroids moving around in our game. We have the spaceship able to move around. We can shoot bullets which disappear when they hit the asteroids, and if the player runs into the asteroid, we're just kind of sending a message that we got hit, and we were playing with how big of a hit would cause us to lose a life. So there. So now what we're going to do is work on what happens when the bullets hit the asteroids, in which case we're going to split them in half. So we are going to go into our script. This is the Asteroid Script, and we're going to need to have some more variables here. We're going to need, first of all, for each asteroid to know which stage it's in. The asteroids go through three sizes as you go through. They start with the largest size when they're first made, and then after they're shot, they're going to go to the medium size, and then when the mediums get hit, they're going to go to the small size, and when the smalls get hit, they're going to disappear from the game. So we're going to need a variable up here to keep track of that. So let's make a public integer, and we'll just call this asteroid size, I guess we'll call it here. And we'll have asteroid size go between a 3 and a 1. So 3 will equal large, 2 will equal medium, and we'll say that 1 will equal small. Those are the stages that they'll go through. Now we could use a string and actually use the words large, medium, small. We could do an enumerator. We could do all sorts of different things here, but I think we'll just stick with an integer this time. So when the asteroid first comes into existence, we need it to know what size it's going to be. Alright, so at the beginning of the game, they're all going to be large, but then when we spawn more of them, all the asteroids, regardless of size, are going to have the same script on them. So we're going to have to reach in and change this value as they are made. So what we're going to need to do here is, consider that as the game continues. But we are going to, for now, we're going to, in the start function, just set asteroid size equal to 3. This will be the large size. Alright, and then when the asteroids are hit by a bullet, we are going to have to trigger this this process of breaking it in half. So we're going to go down here to the bottom. We already have an onTriggerEnter2D function, which is destroying anything with the trigger collider that hits it. Right now in our game, only the bullets are using trigger colliders, so that's working just fine. Now we might want to put a check in here, because as we add more to the game, there may be other objects such as power-ups or other things that we drop in here that might have trigger colliders. So let's go out into Unity and let's find our bullet prefab. There he is. And let's give him a tag. Tags are a great way of identifying objects in a game. So right now it's untagged. I'm going to make a brand new tag. So I go to Add Tag. I open up my tag list here, and I want to give a new tag. This is going to be for bullet. So I'm just going to type in bullet, all lowercase, hit save. So now I've got the bullet tag listed here. If I go back to my bullet prefab and select the tag drop down again, bullet now shows up and I can select it. So now all bullets when they're made are going to carry this bullet tag. The reason we want that is now whenever we have a collision with our asteroid and something with the trigger collider, we can check to see if it's the bullet. So all we have to do is say if other, remember other is the name of the that we give to the object that the asteroid collided with. So if other dot, and we can use compare tag, and compare tag just needs us to tell it what tag it's looking for. So it's all lowercase bullet. So if other compare tag bullet, if this is true, if the tag of the object that we just collided with is bullet, then we can give it some instructions to do. So we're going to go ahead and put some curly brackets around this so the destroy command is only now going to be triggered if it's a bullet that we hit. And then we also want to do the split here. So we'll just say here, destroy the bullet, and then we want to check the size of the asteroid and spawn in the next smaller size. Alright, so we're going to have to do a couple of if statements here. So first we'll just check to see, is this asteroid actually a number 3 asteroid, the largest? So we can say if asteroid size is exactly equal to 2 equal signs, means exactly equal to 3, then we know that this asteroid that just got hit by the bullet is a large asteroid. So we're going to want to split it into smaller ones. Okay, so we're going to spawn 2 medium asteroids. Okay, and we'll do that in a second. Let's just go ahead and keep adding in more things here. So we can also then say if asteroid size is equal to 2, so this is a medium asteroid in this case, then what we'll do is we'll spawn 2 small asteroids, and then finally we can say if asteroid size is equal to 1, well, if it's 1, we know it is at its smallest size already, so then we're going to remove the asteroid. We're only going to split it 2 times. Alright, so that's kind of the structure of what we're going to do here. We're just going to bump through and ask these 3 questions to see what size our asteroid currently is. Let's actually make these else ifs here, because we are going to be changing asteroid size, so it's possible that if I do this if statement and change the asteroid size to a 2, then this next one will trigger and it'll go on down. So let's just make sure only one of these happens. So I'm just going to put an else in front of here and an else in front of here. And if you're not familiar with if else ifs, basically if you have else's between these, only one of these if statements will do its instructions. So the first one, it checks this first question first. If this isn't true, then it goes down and checks the next one. If that's not true, it checks the next one. If though that one of these is true, it stops. So as soon as it finds the true one here, it'll stop and not do the rest. That should keep us from having some weird behaviors of it maybe doing more than one at a time. Okay, so the process of spawning the new asteroids is going to be to instantiate 2 of the next size down asteroids, and then changing the asteroid size on those new asteroids to be the appropriate number that matches their size, and then to remove the current asteroid, the one that was hit by the bullet. So we're going to need a link to the prefabs for the other 2 asteroids. So let's go up to the top here, and let's do a public game object, and this would be asteroid medium, and then we'll need a public game object asteroid small. We're going to start with the large. We're never going to be instantiating large asteroids, so we don't need to actually link into the prefab for the large asteroid. We're just going to make prefabs for the medium and the small asteroids, and we'll load those in out in the inspector. Okay, so now we've got a way to record the size of the asteroid as it currently is, and we have the prefabs that we need to instantiate. So going back down to our onTriggerEnter2D function, so if the asteroid is currently size 3, it's the largest size, then what we're going to do is we're going to instantiate 2 asteroids. So we could put this in a loop, or we could just do 2 instantiate commands. If you were going to do more than 2, I would definitely put it inside of a loop, but let's maybe just do 2 instantiate commands this time. So, and we're going to want to capture these asteroids and store them in a variable as we create them, because we are going to have to go in and change the size of these new asteroids in their script so that they know what size they should be. So we're going to just make a couple of GameObject variables here. So we'll say GameObject asteroid 1 equals, and we'll use our instantiate command. And if this is a size 3, then we want to instantiate the medium, the size 2 asteroid. So we're going to instantiate, alright, we want asteroid medium. And then we're going to go ahead and put it right here in the same space. We'll see how this works. We may have to space these out a bit, but for now let's just drop it right in the same space as where the current asteroid is. So we'll just say transform dot position and transform dot rotation. We'll just drop it in right there. Now we're going to do the same exact thing for the next asteroid. So again, we could put this in a loop, but since there's only 2, let's just go ahead and copy and paste this down, and we'll call this asteroid 2. Alright, and then after we make these asteroids, we want to reach into their script and tell them that they're not a size 3 asteroid, because by default when they're created, they'll run their start function here and they'll set themselves to size 3. So we want to actually override that at this point. So we'll just say asteroid 1, and then we'll have to get component, and the component we're going to want is the script. So, and that's called Asteroid Script. So that'll get us into the script, and then we can say dot, let's reach in and grab the asteroid size. Let's see, asteroid size, and let's go ahead and set that equal to a 2. We'll just do that. Alright, so that'll make sure that that asteroid knows that it's a medium-sized asteroid, and when it gets hit, it'll know to make 2 small asteroids instead of more medium asteroids. And then we have to do the same thing. So we'll copy and paste, and then we'll say asteroid 2. Go ahead and get that component and set it to size 2. Alright, so that spawns in the asteroids. It sets their script so they know what size they are. And then the last thing we want to do is destroy this current asteroid. So we'll say destroy GameObject. When you say GameObject like this, it's referring to the GameObject that this particular script is attached to. So it'll destroy the asteroid that just got hit by the bullet and remove anything that's attached to it. Alright, so that should get us going here from big asteroids to the next size down. Let's go ahead and save that. Let's test out our little system here for the big to the medium. We'll go out here into Unity and we'll look for errors. Looks like we're good. First thing we have to do is go into any of our asteroids up here, or to the asteroid large prefab down here. We can do that too, but we want to make a change here because we have to actually tell it what the asteroid medium and small are. So if I go down to the project panel, click on the prefab for asteroid large here, you'll see that there's a spot for medium and small. So let's go ahead and drag in, let me see, I gotta find which one is which here. That's medium, that's small. Okay, so we're gonna drag in medium, whoops, scroll down. Okay, we'll drag in medium to here, and we'll grab small and drag it right there. And now the asteroid large knows what an asteroid medium and an asteroid small is. And we will, okay, that should have updated automatically. Let's check the ones out in our scene and see if they updated to get that change. And they did. So they all have that in there now as well. Alright, so we've got our asteroid small and medium set up here. Now we have to make sure our prefabs for asteroid medium and small are also set up with everything they need. We've got asteroid large here already set up. Let's grab a medium out and drop it in the scene, and let's grab a small one out and drop it in the scene. Now, asteroid medium, as you can see, has nothing but the sprite render, so we have to actually go set these up just like we had the large asteroid set up. So if you remember, on the large asteroids, we had the Rigidbody, we had the Circle Collider, we had the Script. So we have to set all this up on our smaller asteroids. So let's go ahead and add that. So on the medium, we're going to add the Rigidbody 2D, and we're going to tell it to use auto mass. And let's see, angular drag to 0, and everything else should be okay. We're also then going to add a circle collider to it. Let's zoom in on it here a little bit, and let's bring that circle collider down to where it is somewhat situated here. I might offset it just slightly, just to get a little bit more centered on that asteroid there. Bump it up just a hair. Whoops, too far. Alright, let's try something like that. And that is not a trigger. And then we need to add the asteroid script. So let's go to our scripts and grab the asteroid script and drag and drop it here on our asteroid. And it needs to know its max thrust and torque and its rigid body and all that. So here's kind of a shortcut we might be able to do. If I go to asteroid large on the asteroid script, and if I click on the gear over here next to the script, I can actually copy the component. Then let's go to asteroid medium here. Let's click here, and let's paste component values. What that's going to do is it's going to take all the values from the first asteroid and put it into this one. So you notice now all those came in. Now there's going to be a problem because this rigid body is linked to the asteroid large, not the asteroid medium. So we do have to change a few things. Like we have to drop this rigid body in here, so it's asteroid medium rigid body. We probably ought to adjust where this asteroid leaves the screen. But the max thrust and torque might be too much for this, because for instance, let's just test this out in the medium, see what happens to it. And you notice that it goes really fast and spins really fast because it's a much smaller asteroid. See, its mass is about a 1.62. For the large one was about a 10. So we can make the smaller ones move faster, but we need to take this down by about a scale of 10. So let's make this 100, and let's go ahead and put the torque to 100. Let's also kind of play with the where this one should screen wrap. So he leaves the screen at about an X of a negative 14.3, 14.4 maybe. Oh, 14.3 is not bad. But let's make the screen left and right for him a negative, let's say 14.4. And let's do this one here to a 14.4. I'm thinking here we do have this asteroid size variable here. We could set this in the inspector, then we wouldn't have to actually reach into the script and change it there. So here's another option. We could actually tell this guy that he's a size 2 right here in his script. And then we wouldn't have to set this, because when the prefab is instantiated, this value would fill in automatically with whatever we put here. Well, before we do that though, let's go check the top boundary here, the screen, so we're looking at screen edges. So it looks like we're at about a 10.9 on the Y. So let's do the top and bottom to like a 10.9 and a negative 10.9. That should kind of fine tune those. We'll get the size. We've got the medium and small asteroids. We got the right rigid body. We adjusted the thrust and torque. Let's actually just kind of test this out and see how he behaves here now. So there we go. So he's still kind of zipping a bit. Oh, and you know what? He's got gravity applied to his rigid body. That's why he was speeding up. See right here, I forgot to turn my gravity scale to 0. Very important that you do that, or you're going to get all sorts of weird behavior. Let's try it now. There we go. So now he's moving off to the side there. Let's do it again. Let's see what he looks like. Let's test it a few times. That's pretty small for that size. Try it one more time. I think I want to increase his max thrust a little bit. Let's try a 200 on the max thrust so that maybe he'll move a little faster than the big ones. sometimes, and other times he won't. Okay, so I think we're getting pretty close there to how we want these guys to act. They have the script. They're good to go. While we're at it, so this is our asteroid medium. We have to update that prefab now so that the one on the project panel gets all the changes we just added. So again, you got the prefab row of buttons here, hit apply. And there we go. Now we have our asteroid prefab down here. We'll have all the changes that we just put on it up there. And that should be everything that we need there. Alright, let's set up asteroid small as well. So again, asteroid small, we can go ahead and add in the Rigidbody 2D. And we will make sure we turn gravity scale to 0 this time. And we will do auto mass. And then we will add in the circle collider. And we'll have to go and move that down on the radius a bit, get that kind of somewhat like that. That's probably okay on that one. It's not a trigger, so that's set up. And then we need the script again. So let's go ahead and grab our script. Asteroid Script, we'll drop it right on them there. And then again, let's just go ahead and copy over so I can grab the copy component. And then I can go back to my asteroid small and I can paste component values. And again, make sure you change this rigid body, otherwise it's going to affect the medium one instead of this one. It'll be some really strange behavior. So grab this rigid body, drop it in, and let's take a look at the max thrust and torque here. Now, this guy's mass is a 0.4, so it's about half or a little less of the next size up. So we should probably think about dropping down the max thrust here to maybe 100. And maybe the torque to a 50. Now, these guys can really get zipping around if you want to make your game more challenging, so you can play with these numbers here. And then again, let's check to see the sides of the screen. This guy's a lot smaller, so he disappears somewhere on the X around a negative 13.9. So let's do a negative 13.9 for left and right. So 13.9 and 13.9. And then on the top of the screen, he's going to disappear around a 10.5. So we will change this to a 0.5 and that to a 0.5. Okay, just fine tuning things. And his size is going to be 1. So we will apply that to his prefab. Apply. And now all of those should be good to go. And let's just see kind of what they look like here. The asteroid small. He's really spinning fast. I think maybe we should take his torque down a bit because he's really spinning. So let's change his max torque. Let's try 25 and see what we get with him. That's a little better. And he's cruising along pretty good. Let's test him a few times here and just see how fast he tends to move. He's moving pretty fast. You might want to slow him down just a little bit, because he might be moving a little too fast. So let's put his max thrust to maybe like a 75. Let's see how he looks with the 75 on the max. Oh, that time he didn't get any thrust hardly. He's just spinning. And yeah, I think that's probably better range of thrust for him. Again, you can do whatever you like in your version to make it harder, easier, whatever. Okay, so now that we've made that change, let's go ahead and hit apply again. Let's go to medium. Let's just make sure we've applied everything there. Go ahead and hit apply there again. Now on the large one, let's institute that change with using asteroid size here. Instead of setting it in the script, let's set it out here. So these are size 3 asteroids. So we will set asteroid size 3 and apply that to the prefab. Alright, so now we'll go back into the script. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to take out this right here. Because now that we're setting it in the prefab, we don't want to set it in the script or it will overwrite whatever's there. So let's just take that out. And then we don't need to tell it what size to change it to. Okay? And that also makes it simpler down here. So when asteroid 3 gets hit and we make some medium ones, it'll already know it's a size 2. So we can actually not have to worry about reaching into that script and setting that value. So this is even easier and less code this way. So sorry about the change there midstream. But I think this will make it a little easier. So hopefully you followed all that. and otherwise all the logic's the same. So if when we hit one that's a size 3, we're going to instantiate 2 medium ones and destroy the size 3 one that we just hit. So we'll save those changes, and let's test out and see if these actually break apart like they're supposed to. So let's just shoot, and oh, I missed all of them. How did I miss all of them? That's crazy. Alright, let's try again. See if I can hit that guy up there. There, and he broke in the 2 smaller ones. So that appears to be working. Now the other thing I was just thinking about is we don't even need to store these asteroids in memory anymore because we're not changing the script. That's the whole reason we were doing that. So we can simplify this even more by just instantiating them. Much better way to do this. Much simpler. When we hit the big one, we just instantiate 2 of the next size down. They already know what they're supposed to do because of the prefab, and we can even actually make this a little less code by actually moving this down here to the bottom. So let's just move that down there for the moment. Sorry about all the changes here as we're thinking this through, but if we get hit by a bullet, we know we're going to remove the asteroid. Doesn't matter what size it is, it's going to go away. So might as well just do that one time down here after we've already made the new ones. That's what these else's are doing, right? So if it's size 3, we spawn these 2. Let's go ahead and just copy and paste this in here. Now this time we don't want asteroid medium, so we're just going to change this to say asteroid small, because these are mediums ones now that we've hit. And same thing here, asteroid small. So we'll instantiate 2 asteroid smalls if we hit an asteroid medium size, and then if it's size 1, we're just going to remove the asteroid, and we'll probably score some points at each of these points as well, so that's why I'm going to leave this here. But right now we won't do anything here. We'll just have it remove the asteroid down here at the bottom. Okay, so hopefully this all makes sense, what we've done here. We're destroying the bullet. We're then just checking, okay, was this a size 3 asteroid the bullet just hit? If so, make some size 2 asteroids. If it was size 2, make some size 1 asteroids. If it's size 1, well, that's the smallest size and it's going to go away. So let's save this and let's test this out. We should see an ability here to blow all these up. Let's go ahead and remove the small and the medium from our thing here, and let's just take it down to 1 asteroid for testing purposes here right now. Let's see if we can shoot this asteroid and break it into its different pieces. So here it comes. Let's see if I can shoot it with my real slow bullets. Okay, there we go. You notice, did you see it bump through the stages? Here, I'll try to do it slower. That one and the 2 small ones, and if I can hit one of the small ones, there, it just disappears. And we probably won't catch him till he comes around the other side. There he is. And we killed him. Alright, so that takes the behavior of the asteroids and makes it so that we can bump them through their different sizes and get rid of them eventually. Okay, so that was actually quite a bit of work for just doing that. So I think we're going to end this video here, where we now have the ability to break those asteroids down into smaller pieces. Next video, we will start looking at adding in some scoring and some lives, and then look at maybe doing some UI type things. We still want to do things like add sound and music and some particle effects for explosions and things like that. So, but we've got the kind of the heart of this game here now put together, with the spaceship having all his basic mechanics and the asteroids being able to behave the way we want them to behave as well. So thanks for watching. I hope you're enjoying the series and learning a lot. If you have any questions or comments, please post them in the comments below, and I'll be happy to take a look at those and answer your questions as you have them. Have a great day.